Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The replica I probably get most questions about, most comments about, most people, it's all positive what I hear. This is going to be my update on the Toxicant XM5 build that I have done, and it's really going to be an update in terms of I've now played with it a few times, so not just how does it look, because it looks really good, or most people would say that to me, but more how does it perform? So I'm going to kind of go through that and just give you guys my opinion on it after having this thing for about 6 months, only playing with it twice, but playing in different environments. And would I buy it again for the unbelievable amount of money that it costs? Okay, guys, so I'm going to start off. This thing, if you're not aware, is very, very hard to get hold of. It is a gas blowback replica. It's made by a company called Toxicant, and it is a replica of the XM5, the Sig Sauer XM5, or what is now known as the XM7. I believe the XM7, which is the rifle that is now being adopted by US forces, does not have this forward assist. So technically this is an XM5, not the XM7, which is the updated model. And it very much is recognizable by this magazine. It has a different caliber. It takes a 6.8 by 51. And then it also has this charging handle right here, which is there, and it also has the normal charging handle that an AR platform or a regular MCX has, but it has this charging handle which a lot of people really love, and I have to say, like, it's very, very cool to have it. Now, this thing, when you buy it, it costs $1,600 if you're in the US, and that's before any shipping. That was when I bought it. I think I was probably the first person to get it in the US. I did an unboxing video of it and it went down very well. A lot of people watched that video and I had a lot of questions, and it was a lot of money, but it actually at the time came with 4 magazines. That was 2 CO2 magazines and 2 green gas magazines. I think now if you buy them, it only comes with 2 magazines. And if you're buying directly from Toxicant, then you can kind of like say, hey, this is what I want, whether I want CO2 or green gas. I would recommend these green gas magazines because of the fact that they do give less recoil, and the recoil with the CO2 on this thing, it kicks like a mule. It's really, really, really fun to have that kind of effect. But in terms of actual gameplay, I would say like the FPS drops, it's too high to start with, and it drops off quite rapidly. You can finish a mag, but that's about it. With these green gas in here, I think I've gone through about 2 rounds of BBs with 1 gas fill, and they're just very well built. It's the same kind of build quality for the CO2 to the green gas, but these things are really, really cool. They're very solidly built. I normally hate these fake round stickers, sheets they put inside. It looks really good on this, and actually you can actually see when it's loaded all the BBs in the front here. They cost $75, which is a lot of money, but it is not a huge amount compared to your standard green gas mags. For, you know, an MWS is going to be $50, so it's more, but the main issue I think most people had was getting hold of it. Now, I think most people saw this and they were like, okay, this is very, very cool. I want to have it, but I don't want to spend that much money to get it. And even people who wanted to get it were like, I can't get hold of these until they do the next batch. I have to say I was a little bit unsure when I bought it. I was like, this is more one of those pieces to have in your collection that, you know, it's very hard to get hold of. No one else is making an XM5 either in AEG format or in gas blowback format, and I just really want it. And I have to say, and this may ruin this kind of video early on, but I am really, really impressed with this thing. I've heard some mixed reviews. Some people have said, hey, it just doesn't perform like I thought it would. This for me has been awesome. I wanted the Mark 18 version. 6mm.com accidentally apparently sent me the 9-inch version as opposed to the Mark 18. So a slightly different handrail, a different flash hider. This is actually a different flash hider on here, but it looked the same. But it is very, very similar in terms of dimensions. And I was kind of annoyed that I didn't get the actual like Mark 18 version, but I have to say it's really not a big deal. But I've used this twice now. I've used it. If you want to see what I've done to this in terms of like the externals and what I've put on here, I've got a full build video that you can go and have a look at on the channel. So subscribe, go and take a look at that. And hopefully that kind of gives you more info on the specifics and how much I've spent on this thing. But it is really, really fun. Like I've had it and I've played with it indoors in CQB. And weirdly, when I played indoors with CQB, I used this, which is a Dead Air Sandman PTS, and it has a tracer unit in it. So I could actually like see the BBs in that green format. And obviously this makes it quite a bit longer. However, this is how I wanted to run it in a dark CQB environment. And then actually I ran it this weekend at Warped Ops, which is an outdoor field in Southern California, just outside LA. And I was more worried about using it in that environment. I think indoors, you know, there's only so much distance you're going to be firing. So the hop unit doesn't come into play as much. The barrel accuracy, you know, it comes into play, but it's not nearly as like important because like there's not that much distance between you and the target you're shooting. So you're not going to see that deviation that you are in longer shots. But this weekend I took it out in an outdoor field that has got some really long distances. And nearly all of the players there were using AEGs, HPA. There were some gas blowbacks, but no one had seen anything like this. Well, they may have seen it on terms of pictures, videos. I had multiple people coming up to me asking if they could hold it, asking if they could take pictures with it. I had a huge amount of content. I put it down actually to adjust the hop up because when I first got out there, I hadn't really adjusted the hop up for the ranges that I was trying to do. I can shoot it in my garden, but really I need more range than that to see what it's doing. I put it down on the table right by the chrono to adjust the hop up. I actually forgot how to adjust the hop up. I started opening up the chamber, trying to open up the upper and the lower to get to it. And I forgot that actually this gas valve here is how you adjust the hop up. I put it down and the first comment I got from guys is like, okay, mate, come and flex with us on your XM5. Like I was kind of like trying to show it off, which I wasn't trying to do, but that was definitely the impression, you know, that a lot of people were like, okay, that's really, really cool. You know, I love that I can see it. Thank you for letting me hold it. I promise I won't drop it. All of these kinds of comments. So I don't think I had anyone saying that's ugly. I didn't have anyone saying, oh, why did you buy that? Everyone seemed to be like, oh, if I could have bought one, I would have done. Is it worth the money? Would you spend this and buy this again? And I have to say the answer is yes. It performed really well. I've posted a gameplay footage of it and I've posted some shorts gameplay as well. And I always run gas blowback, so I'm used to these like 28 round mags, which is what these take. They're not a full 30. But even when I was playing and defending an area, i.e. using a ton more like actual gas and ammo, I didn't feel outgunned. I felt like the accuracy on this thing was really good. And I've put a I've put a flamingo hop rubber in here and I've put a maple leaf barrel. So, you know, you do need to put an inner barrel in this when you buy it. Comes with a micro little inner barrel, so that's the one thing you need to put in there. I've put those two in there. I haven't tested different things, and I have to say, like, I had a lot of first shot or first two shots hit. You know, it was not I need to like put rounds down in a certain area and maybe one gets it like I tend to, or I used to tend to with an AEG. This thing was super accurate. This Juliet Micro I really liked because I could effectively use it and look at my targets at a distance. I could throw it out the way and just use this Romeo 8T red dot, which if I can show it to you guys, it's hard to get this into the frame. But this thing is amazing at, like, it's just a great red dot. There you go. So you can see there how bright that is. It actually comes with this little cover on it. So I like the entire setup. It's not a light rifle, but it did not feel too heavy. I actually started playing with it with the tracer unit on it, not turned on, but I had the Manta suppressor cover. If you've seen that video where I installed that on it, I actually ended up taking that off. And I was like, I don't know why I would need that on other than looks. And it literally, like the length of this being as short as it is, it's not super, super short. It says it's a 9.5 inch, but like it definitely does not feel like a 9.5 inch compared to like some AR, which has that. It feels bigger, chunkier, and longer than that. But it definitely felt good in the hand. I think I'm used to the weight of it, maybe because I played indoors with it. But I just felt like this thing, I was in no way outgunned in any time that I play. And I play conservative in terms of shots. I'm obviously not using full auto. In the towns there, you can't use full auto. You can when you're outside of the town. So I never really use full auto anyway. But I could stack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Went out with 5 mags of 28. I got close to running out in one of the games, but I didn't actually run out at any point. I was using grenades a lot, and this thing felt great. You know, when I was like throwing a grenade coming in, I had a 15-foot minimum engagement with this. So I was trying to use my pistol in those closer environments, but I could use this, and any of those interior shots that were in that 15-foot range I could use. I had my sling mounted on here. BB weight I was using 3.2s. When I played with this thing indoors, I was using 2.5s because that's all they allow. But 3.2s seemed perfect on this. I kind of had the hop up maxed, like basically almost to the max, and that on 3.2s on this was absolutely perfect. It was giving me a straight line, a slight little uptick at the end before it dropped off, and 3.2s for me on this, on the day with the green gas I was using, was perfect. I was using Swiss Arms 150 PSI, like the kind of rifle orange one, green gas. And one thing I would say is it was very hot. Like it was a hot day, like probably 90 degrees plus. So the gas definitely was powerful that day. Like the expansion of the gas, I was getting a lot of power out of it. I even think when I first chronoed it, the guy said you're actually slightly above 400 FPS. It's obviously because you've got the first few shots out of a gas mag, and it is this, so maybe 15, 20 foot minimum engagement. But like even I think at lower kind of temperatures, this thing seemed like it was super consistent. I mean, I wasn't like emptying a mag very quickly, so I didn't notice that drop off in FPS or in range. But it was super consistent when I was using it. There was never any shots where I made the shot and I was like, where's that BB gone? I think I had 2 situations where I had like almost like a light strike because of the heat, where I kind of pulled the trigger and I think it actually let off 2 BBs. And then I had one situation where I pulled the trigger and it didn't let off a BB, but that was from me using it for multiple hours and using it regularly. And that was the only, you know, that happens with gas blowbacks. And that was the only kind of like misfire that I had. So yeah, guys, I mean, like I have to say, I would definitely buy this again. I'm not going to like advise you to go out and spend $1,600 on a replica when you could get the performance and everything else other than the looks of it for definitely less money than that. But when people are saying to me, hey, would you buy this again? Absolutely, I would. I've actually spoken to Toxicant. When I first did the release video, I said to them, hey, do you have the Mark 18 rail that I could buy so I could switch it out? They actually said, hey, we saw you did that video. We'll send it to you for free. They are going to do that. They've said, hey, just pay for the shipping and we'll send it to you for free, the different flash hider and the different rail. And I'll switch it out and I'll do a video for you guys where I show you, you know, the comparison of the two of them. But to be honest, like I'm pretty happy with this 9-inch rail. I do get some comments on the videos from people saying, hey, I'm going to go for this size. And I have to say, I would not buy anything bigger than the 9. I think you can get it in like a 14-inch and then maybe even something longer than that. And it might even be like a 20-inch or something along those lines. And you know, maybe you want to run it as a DMR. It looks kind of cool because it's almost got 308 mags. But I have to say, I would definitely not go longer. If you're going to run a suppressor on it anyway, and you're going to have it as like a regular like battle rifle, I would definitely go for this 9.5-inch model. It's like, I think if before I got it, I would have thought, oh, 9.5-inch, that's kind of like my PDW, you know, like very compact CQB Mark 18 style gun. And it definitely feels bigger than my Mark 18. In fact, I'll get this out for you. I have this is actually a Guns Modify MWS, like Mark 18, and you can see there, that feels just a lot more compact, a lot lighter, a lot easier to point around. This in comparison is, try and get you guys this over here. This in comparison is this XM5, and it's definitely bigger. Like it's a bigger boy, and I absolutely love it. But weight-wise, this is like 1.5 to 2 times the weight of this one. You've obviously got a very compact little like URGI style Geisley rail on that, but this thing is definitely a lot heavier, a lot bigger to pull around. It's not like in the moment I'm thinking about it like that, but that is the case. The other thing is you're going to have different magazine pouches. These mags are not going to fit in your standard AR pouches. I have the Haley Strategic kind of like AR pouches that stretch out, and they'll fit these and Sega mags. So I love that. And I actually had, the other one I was using was a 308, and these are 308 mag size basically. So if you're looking at, right, I want to buy this, I need to buy all the mags, you are also not going to be able to run your regular like AR setup. You are going to have to go for something or adapt to like make those fit. But yeah, I mean, all of the externals that I've put on here, this definitely made a difference gameplay wise. I used this on my inside with the laser and the flashlight. Did not use this at all when I played outdoors, but I had it. I definitely like having this foregrip on it. It gives me more support. When I was in an area and just holding down defending for a while, I nearly always just C-clamp around this foregrip, but it was nice to be able to just change my arm position just because this thing is heavy. Never actually like brought the stock in, never adjusted it, never collapsed it like you can. The foregrip I've got, sorry, the pistol grip I've got on it is the Magpul K2 Plus. That was very comfortable, but really the performance thing for this was this Romeo 8T and this Juliet 3 Micro just made this thing awesome. I definitely used this charging handle to rack the action, but multiple times I forgot. I definitely used the Ambi bolt release to release the bolt, but multiple times I forgot, and I just went to my traditional bolt release there. The only thing actually which I would say did not work 100% well was the bolt lock. The bolt release when I was inserting the mag. When I'd insert the mag, if I try and do it here, we'll see if it works. I would just do that, and actually the bolt would just re-engage without me pressing the actual mag release. Pressing the bolt release. So it wasn't an issue because it didn't cause me any issues. It was actually faster that when I put that in, it released it. But it wasn't that realistic in the way of like, I need to do that. It probably happened about 50% of the time. And it may have been like more mag dependent. I don't know what it was. But the actual like bolt stop was that. Wear and tear on this thing. I mean, it's picked up some scratches. Like I'm not very like, conservative with how I use this thing. And when the paint does come off or like it's been scratched, it is a silver sheen underneath. But build quality on this is great. The bolt is a big boy here. I think the only thing that I would probably change or would say is not as kind of like high quality as the rest of this is that dust cover. But yeah, worked well. I used the QD here. I used this as a QD instead of using the actual one built into the rail, but that all worked perfectly. And yeah, guys, I just have a lot of good stuff to say. So hopefully this video has been interesting for you and actually given you some like feedback on using it in game as opposed to just unboxing it and building it. And this is how it looks nice. And this is the power that it puts out. But I absolutely loved it. I'd say it probably is my go-to right now. Like I'm going to pick choosing that as my battle rifle over pretty much anything. Like I use this Mark 18 sometimes, but I would definitely probably choose that over it. If it was like a milsim where I needed to like conserve weight, maybe I would try and go for something like this. But that's different. It makes me feel cool. The performance on it was great. So yeah, I just have a lot of good stuff to say. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to be doing a cleaning video on this. I'm also going to do a cleaning video on possibly this one on my other Mark 18, just to kind of give you guys my maintenance breakdown of like what I do with my replicas. But that's to come. If you have any ideas about other things, video or content-wise related to this you'd like to see, put them in the comments below and I'll get to those and try and make as many videos as I possibly can for you. Thanks guys, I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.